What's up, online shoppers? If you are thinking about getting yourself a Sun Ninja, I want to answer your questions because I am an absolute fan of this fantastic sun shade. To be clear, I take this with me all over the place. Beach, camp, barbecues, baseball fields, soccer fields. This sets up literally anywhere, and it sets up in 5 minutes. When people see this sunshade set up at those places, I often get approached and asked, how easy is it to set up and take down? Well, setup is absolutely super easy. What you get is that bag with all those pieces. Poles each get stored in here. So 2 poles in here, 2 poles in here, and they collapse down and fold. You have a bag for all of your little ties that attach the canopy to the poles, and also for your tent pegs. Then this is your carry bag. So everything fits all in here, and it weighs less than 6 pounds, which means it's super easy to move. Now, as far as setup goes, you have 2 different options. Right now I have this set up on grass. Basically, you stretch out your canopy into 4 corners, and you determine whether or not you're going to fill with sand or you're going to use tent pegs. Now here, because I'm on grass, I've used tent pegs, and I'm going to show you what that looks like here. The material of this is a super stretchy lycra material, sandbag part. It's very deep. You can get a lot of sand in here. And the rule for filling these with sand is basically, if you think you've put enough sand in, go put in exactly that amount again, because these are going to stretch. It doesn't matter how much you stretch them out, they are built for that. So you would either fill these up with sand or you would put in a tent peg. So they provide the tent pegs for you, and arms of the tent have a loop for putting in your tent peg. So you literally just have to stretch it out and push it into the ground just like that. Really easy to do. Poles are attached with these little stretchy, they kind of remind me of hair elastics, and they literally are just propped up inside. So I've got a pole here, and as far as setup goes, this is how they come apart. And then they store into these bags, as I mentioned before. If you're putting them together, you literally just open it up, connect them like this, and after you have all 4 corners of your cover stretched out, you just walk this underneath, put it where you want it, and then you take your elastic, wrap it around. I usually just do twice around. You can also tighten the toggle that's there and adjust the tent pole to the angle that works best for you. And as you can see here, I have 2 poles in. It's also super easy to go to a 4-pole method. So I'll show you just like this. We grab our poles, add in our elastics, and we switch from 4 poles to 2 poles. Now, when I show up with tent in the bag like this, and I say I'm bringing my sun shelter, people want to know, how big is it? How many people will it hold? Well, there are 3 different styles of the Sun Ninja. There is the 2-person one, there's the 4-person one, and there's the 6-person one. This one here is the 4-person one. It's 7 feet by 7.5 feet, and the poles are about 5'5", 5'6" in height. I'm 5'6", and when I stand in here, it's a little bit of a stretch. You can see that I've raised it up in here. The next size up, which is the 6-person Sun Ninja, their poles are a little bit taller. They're 6 feet tall, so if you're looking for a little bit more clearance, that's definitely the one that you're going to want to go with. For me, I love using this at the beach. I'm not looking to be able to walk underneath it without having to duck. Usually just set it up either 2 poles like I had it before, 4 poles if I'm trying to fit more people or more stuff underneath. Another question that I often get asked is about the UPF protection for this. These ones are rated for UPF 50 plus, and I spend a lot of time underneath my Sun Ninja. Now, when I'm under my Sun Ninja, I can tell you this, I don't get sunburned. In all of my experiences, when I have been sitting underneath this, I have not gotten burned. So yes, I would say that the Sun Ninja does provide really nice protection. Like, it's nice that it sets up really easy, but how does it handle wind? Well, for me, I have found it to handle wind really well, because the wind might pick this up, but there's an awful lot of tension in arms of the canopy. So as long as you've done a good job of giving it a pretty good stretch, yes, it's going to stretch this way, but you can see, like, even when I lift it up like this, I'm not affecting the stability of the poles right here. So it does handle wind gusts really well. On super windy days, often I'll drop the back 2 poles, and that makes it a little bit more wind resistant. But for the most part, under conditions like this, and even on days when there is a bit of a wind, yeah, it's going to stretch a little bit. It's going to lift the top of the canopy a bit. Even when my sons, who are much taller than me, go and stretch up, it doesn't affect the integrity of the poles and their contact on the ground. So it is really nicely wind resistant. It does handle the gusts. You don't have to run and reset it up because the strong gust came along. There's great tension that's holding these lights down. It does handle wind really well. Another question that might pop into your head is, how versatile is the Sun Ninja? Well, let me tell you all the different ways I use this. Obviously, it comes to the beach with us. 2, I use it in my backyard at camp here to provide shade out in the middle here, to set up our little food station, to keep it out of the sun. I don't have to be locked to putting it under whatever the shade is I can actually bring the shade with me. 3, I take it with me to barbecues because a lot of times you're in somebody's backyard, they don't have a lot of shade, and this is a great option. When my parents come over and they don't like sitting out in the sun, but we've moved out somewhere in the middle like this, I set this up for anybody who wants to be in the shade but still outside. And 4, soccer tournaments. I take this with me to the outdoor soccer tournaments that my kids attend. Soccer fields are notoriously shade free, so this often gets set up over a bench so that the players, when they come off the field, have a place to sit out of the sun. Or 2, it gets set up on the sidelines where the brothers and sisters who get dragged along to the tournaments have a place to sit out of the shade and play if they're not all that engaged in the soccer game. It also works really well at ball fields with that kind of an application. And 5, I love using this tent as a shade for my outdoor filming. Whenever you take your camera outside or anything else like that, the sun beats on those pieces of equipment and definitely heats them up, making them not functionable because they get so overheated. Well, I will set this up because it sets up so easy over top of whatever I'm using to film, and then that way I can record and keep my equipment out of the sun, and I still can quite easily come in here, fuss with it, adjust my angles, and then come back out, and I don't have to mess with zippers or bending down or anything else. So this definitely has also provided me a way to shoot outside so that my equipment stays out of the sun. Another question I often get asked is, did I think it was worth the money I spent on it, and how long have I had this? Well, I've had this for about 4 years, and it looks as good as the day that I took it out of the package. And as far as did I get my money's worth? Heck yeah, I got my money's worth. I've listed off for you all the different reasons I use the Sun Ninja. Definitely lots of different applications that have nothing to do with being at the beach. And yes, it's absolutely versatile and it is durable. 4 years plus on this, and I can't see myself stopping using it anytime soon. And further to that question, this is so durable. It's absolutely one of the most durable pieces of outdoor equipment I've had. This material has maintained its stretch. If it gets dirty, if kids spill something on it, if birds fly over and poop on it, you can take this and throw it in the washing machine, which is another really nice option. But the material has maintained its stretchy integrity. Even when you take it down and you wash it, it bounces back just like new. And if I could offer one pro tip as somebody who's been using a Sun Ninja for a bunch of years, it's this. If you're looking for one that's going to give you more clearance, I would definitely go with the bigger size. So go with the 6-person tent over the 2 or the 4. Even if you just intend to use it for 2 people, if you want to be able to walk under without having to do the duck like I do, I'd go with the 6-person tent because you do get the 6-foot poles and that's going to give you a little bit more clearance for walking underneath. Other than that, it's really just a preference based on size. As a final closing, I will tell you that you will not regret your purchase of a Sun Ninja sun tent. And the imposters, they are not like this. I've had friends buy the other ones, the knockoffs, and they never work as well as these ones do. So if you were looking for a sunshade that is easy setup, good value for your money, durable and versatile, weighs next to nothing for hauling around, wind resistant, and will adapt to the conditions, the Sun Ninja sunshade is absolutely top of my list and a family favorite at our house.